What's up guys, it's me, Hunter at Reptile, and it's time to talk about a new subject. The new subject we're going to talk about here is illegal keeping and exotic ownership. Now when it comes to illegal keeping, it means the person is not following the requirements of owning the animal. And I never liked illegal keeping in the slightest. Illegal keeping to me has been a disgrace to the hobby and stuff. And there's a good reason why. Because you're owning an animal, but you don't have the proper requirements. And you're not following the rules of actually owning it. So why would you even own it? It just makes no sense. Why would you own that animal if you're owning it illegally? It never makes any sense to me at all. Why would people go out of their way to do that? You can't take care of it. If you get bitten, you're going to get caught. Because if you call the emergency number, guess what? You're going to go to jail afterwards when they get the anti-venom into you. And I've read a lot of news stories where people get bit by their own venomous reptiles, and guess what? These people that I've talked about here are owning their venomous reptiles illegally, and guess what? They get caught, and they go to jail. Not too long ago, over in Florida, an 18-year-old started owning some venomous reptiles illegally. But not only that, he kept them in his closet, which is a terrible idea. And the fish and game have found the venomous reptiles, but they were dead. They were all dead. And there were maggots in his closet. I just can't believe this person decided to own venomous reptiles without the proper requirements. In Florida, you have to go through a lot of things to get the permits. You have to get 1,000 hours for each venomous snake family to own venomous reptiles and stuff. When it comes to Florida, you do have to go through all those stuff to get the permits. And they say it's not easy, but they say it's pretty worth it. And people always say, do the work. Do not ever illegal keep. And that goes for every state. If state has permits that are given out, do the work. Do not try to illegal keep. And now, granted, there are some states that actually, have no requirements of getting a permit, which is good. I mean, I can totally understand that. I can totally understand the fact that there are states that can let you keep those animals with no requirements to get a permit. That's also a good thing too, in my opinion. And those states include South Carolina, including South Dakota, and also like Mississippi, Pennsylvania, and other states in general. It's a lot of states that actually allow people to own venomous reptiles without permits. Also, when it comes to owning a venomous reptile, you do need requirements, and those requirements include secured enclosures. Like for instance, if you own a venomous reptile, I think my recommendation is getting an exoterra tank. They're very secure and definitely very useful to use. And when it comes to exoterra, they're really good at making cages. They're really secured and good. There's also vision tanks that are very secured, and not only that, there's also neonisha tanks. They're secure too, but the problem is with neonisha these days, their site has not really usable. All their cages have been moved to eBay, and the only way to buy their cages is on one page on their website they kept. And that's the only way to buy their cages, and that's it. Also, there's even other websites that sell cages too, like there's even sites that sell cages for a pretty low price. Now, yeah, cages can be expensive depending which one you buy from. It depends on the person they built and everything. Now, people can actually build their own cages, and it can be like half the price. There are a lot of people I know that can do cages professionally, and I've seen people build cages, and they can come up with some really extraordinary ideas when it comes to building cages. It's really amazing how people can come up with these inventions, and they seem to work pretty well. Yeah. Now, I never like it when people go out of their way to illegal keep at all. I think people should follow the requirements of owning a venomous animal. because it's a better way to do it. It's the right way to do it. No one should illegal keep. I don't associate with it, and no one should do it in the slightest. No one should. And when it comes to illegal keeping, it will also ruin you. You can go to jail, and you can also have to pay a huge fine too. You have to go through all that kind of risk, and it's not good. Now let's get on to exotic ownership. Now, exotic animals always get controversy, and I don't like that at all. I don't like the fact where people get a lot of hate for owning exotic animal. It really bothers me when people get a lot of hate for owning exotic animal, because people go out of their way to say, oh, you can't own that. It's not right. They should stay in the wild. Well, I'm sorry to say this, the wild is not safe as it used to be. Wild is actually being ran over by poachers and construction. So how is the wild safe for those animals anyway? Wild cannot really protect the animal at all. So it's going to be really difficult for a wild to do that. Another thing also to say is that captivity is the only answer to save these animals, because us humans have to save these animals, and we have to properly care for them in captivity and stuff. Now, I don't really mind people owning exotic or venomous animals, because if they have the requirements, the experience, the stuff they need for like secured enclosures, the snake hooks, the stuff they need like protocols and everything else that goes around with that, they should have the rights to own them. They should have the rights to own those kind of animals. I also understand why states give out permits, because they're giving out permits to people that know how to take care of them. And there are people in almost every state that know how to take care of them pretty well. And there are states that are strict to give out permits, and it's going to be kind of difficult to get those kind of permits. But if you work really hard and know you can actually do it, you can actually get those permits. It all depends on how the requirements are in those states. If you follow requirements, then you eventually may actually get your permit. It depends on the person's point of view. You always have to follow the requirements. Following the requirements is a good thing. If you follow the requirements, then you're good. You can get the permits. And I've actually talked to some people that managed to get permits in states where they think it's impossible to get. For example, Ohio. There's some people that managed to get the permits. Even though the permits are tough to get in Ohio, you have to pay $100,000 for venomous snake and for owning venomous snakes and stuff. Yeah, that can be really difficult to do, but that's their law, and that's how it is with owning venomous reptiles. Now, Ohio used to be where you can actually own venomous reptiles and exotic animals all you want to, but then they changed the law because some person decided to own exotic animals and then all of a sudden let them loose because he couldn't afford them, he couldn't really do anything about them, so he let them loose on him and then kill and eat him up. That's what he did. So he couldn't do anything. He was getting ruined when he was owning exotic animals. And when that happened, then pretty much changed the law. The same thing happened with other states too. Like for example, over in Alabama, a person accidentally let loose a spinning cobra in Moody, Alabama. This happened in 2001, and the person let loose to it in Moody. And then guess what? Once the fish game found it out, they changed the law also, where you only can get a permit to own non-native venomous reptiles. You can still own native reptiles in Alabama, but only ones that are actually not protected. If they are protected, you can't own them unless you have a permit. Now, also I should mention this. People should have rights. They should have rights to own exotic animals and venomous animals. No one should ever ban them. Because if you're banning them, you're abusing the animal. And that is not a good thing. And abusing the animal is illegal. It really is. And the reason why I say banning the animal is actually wrong to do, because there's barely anyone that can take care of it. Now I know, granted, it's the zoos, but if you ban the animal, they're going to have a hard time getting it too. They have to go through all that stuff too. I mean, zoos have to go through a lot of stuff to get the permits too. I mean, it's tough. It's not just tough for individuals to get the permits, it's also tough for zoos to get the permits too. They have to go through a lot of stuff to get permits as well. I mean, yeah, it's pretty understandable. I mean, over in the zoos that we have here in Alabama, there are zoos that couldn't get the non-native venomous animals. I mean, we used to have non-native venomous animals in zoos and stuff, but we can't get them because we don't have the anti-venom for them. And that's what she had, more anti-venom. And I can understand people owning anti-venom themselves because they have the proper requirements to own a venomous animal. And like I said before, people should have the requirements and experience and know what they're doing to own a venomous reptile. I've been working with venomous reptiles for years and years. And I work with other animals too in general. I've worked with venomous reptiles for 4 years. I've worked with rattlesnakes, vipers, cobras, you name it. I haven't worked with the other venomous reptiles in general yet, but I'm going to because I'm actually traveling to other states to meet other snake keepers in person so I can work with them and work with their reptiles in general too. I'm also trying to help out with other people that are actually, trying to do their businesses, to educate people about reptiles, and that's what inspired me right here. Educating people about reptiles. I've always loved educating about reptiles. Educating is a good thing. It actually changes the fishing game's opinion about people owning them and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is a good thing. It really is a good thing. And educators should have the rights to own venomous reptiles as well. If they know the knowledge, they should have the rights to own them. And also, if they have the proper tools to do it, they should have the rights to own them as well. And also the proper requirements as well. Same thing. Yeah, so, in my opinion, people should have the rights to own venomous reptiles and exotic. Because if they have the right stuff to take care of them, they should have the rights for them. And I don't like it when states think about banning them. It's just wrong. It's really wrong to me when states think about banning them and stuff. And North Carolina is trying to ban them, and that's not a good thing at all. North Carolina is another state where it barely has any laws against exotic and venomous animals. A lot of people can actually almost own anything in North Carolina. Of course, there are some counties where you cannot own venomous reptiles, but people do it anyway because there's actually no restrictions in North Carolina to own venomous animals. So yeah, it's a state law. It's not really much of a county law. It's actually a state law because county laws barely have any control of a state law. They don't, which is definitely really almost impossible for a county law to control. There are certain counties in North Carolina where you cannot own venomous animals, and there's been news reports that people actually own them in those kind of counties. Because, like I said before, there are no restrictions in North Carolina to own venomous animals. Yeah, same thing goes with South Carolina. Now, they never banned. I'm glad in South Carolina they never banned them at all. I'm glad because in South Carolina they're really friendly about reptiles, and that's good. I love the fact that South Carolina never bans them and lets people actually keep them, which is a good thing to know. Granted, there are some counties in South Carolina that don't let people keep venomous reptiles unless they have permits and stuff. Yeah, but there's also other states where you should get permits to own venomous reptiles, and that's understandable to me because I don't really mind the permit laws. Because when you have a permit, you have the proper requirements. You do have the proper requirements to own a venomous animal when you have a permit. That goes for Florida. I mean, Florida, they never banned venomous reptiles, and they're actually still giving out permits, which is a good thing. There are other states that give out permits too, like Georgia. Georgia gives out permits too, but only to people that actually follow the requirements. And same thing goes for Alabama as well, and same thing goes for other states in general that give out permits too, but only for people that follow requirements. And people should follow requirements. They should get to actually have the ownership of owning a venomous reptile. And yes, owning a venomous reptile can be expensive, but it's always worth it. And you always have to go through all that kind of stuff to own them. You go through caging and stuff, which is understandable. I mean, yeah, you do have to have proper cages to own them. And there are a lot of sites that actually have good cages when it comes to, buying cages for these kind of animals and stuff. So yeah, you got time, you can buy these cages, and not only that, you can actually have the time to work out the permits to own a venomous reptile. Now, like I said before, it's not a good thing to ban them, and it's not a good thing to ever own them illegally. No one should own a venomous reptile illegally at all. It's not a good thing to do. And also, no one should ban animals. No one should. No one should ever try to ban them in the slightest, because not only can ruin the hobby, it can also abuse the animal. Anyway guys, that's all I have to talk about here. I'm Hunter out from Top Fence, and I will see you guys later.